Chess friends, welcome to my new YouTube channel. In this video I am gonna teach you chess strategy and tactics which played by Surya Shekhar Ganguly against Hikaru Nakamura. Let's take a look at this amazing game I'm about to show you. Ganguly started the game with e4, and we have the line of the French. Ganguly puts his bishop on g5, Black played bishop to b4, initiating the so-called McCutcheon variation. This is a pretty direct line. e5 of course threatens to win the knight, and now the move h6, chasing the bishop. Obviously, if the bishop were to back up, then the move g5 is quite natural. So instead the move is bishop to e3, and now knight to e4 taking advantage of the pin no longer being there, and now white plays queen to g4, and we see that the weakness is here in this pawn sitting on the g6 square, so white is definitely targeting that pawn, and now black has many moves in this position to play. Black can play g6, or black can actually play king to f8, those are the two main moves in the position actually, so that's pretty much standard main line. However, the aggressive g5 had been tried quite a bit, and this looked like it was a reasonable move. Now white plays h4, the most direct attempt to try to exploit this last move, and here black plays h5, I will say black played h5. Top players have given up on this move because of what comes next, and the move for white here, of course white doesn't want to just back off with the queen. The move for white here is the spectacular h takes on g5, sacrificing the queen in this position. Now many of you might have wondered why knight takes c3 hadn't been played earlier. Well, in that position, bishop to d2 was fine and would have pinned this piece and would have easily recouped the material. I should point that out as I was talking, so h takes on g5, and now h takes g4, rook takes. No, you're not winning back the queen. The move is bishop back to f8, white has sacrificed a queen for a rook and pawn. That's a big sacrifice and white is not winning the material back. White's not going to win something. For example here, white could play g6, this, and then bishop h6, and oh maybe I'll win the material back. No, you don't, like you're just not winning the material back, and black will slowly untangle. So that is not the point of the sacrifice beginning with rook takes on h8 and this bishop to f8, the point is that black's pieces sitting on the back row are simply awful. All these pieces are terrible. The rook sitting on a8, the knight, the bishop, the queen is passive. We know the queen can easily make itself out, but all these pieces on the back row are in fact horrible. And also the bishop on f8 is pinned as well, so these pieces are not going anywhere anytime soon, so first thing that white does is take on e4. Get rid of the one active piece in the position, and now pawn takes, and then the quiet knight to e2. I love this move. The point is to bring the knight to g3, then to e4, then to f6, and just dominate the position, completely sit on white's, sit on black's position, and just crush. Imagine playing this slowly when you're down a queen for a rook. I mean, just extraordinary. Now the main move played here is what I want to explore, the move c5. Black tried different ways to try to untangle. c5 is the most contentious, and this is the one that was played in the stem game in the line that Shirov played against Volkov. By the way, I should have mentioned that Shirov was the one who started this sacrificial idea of the queen being sacrificed for the rook and pawn, typical fire on board Shirov style. c5 was played in that game and castles, and the move qa5 to get the queen off the line, and now knight c3, the knight going a different route, organizing itself towards the queen side. And after c takes d4, here Shirov made a mistake in the game. Shirov took on d4 and this results in instant equality according to the engines. Quite difficult to see this from afar, but black is now going to be able to play knight to c6 and prepare to develop, and white just doesn't get the attack we're going to see in the game happen as quickly. Players agree to a draw here. Volkov could have kept playing but decided not to test his luck. In this position, however, the correct move that was played later is the move knight to b5. A monster move, giving up another piece. Alright, seemingly giving up another piece, you're already down a queen for a rook, but now you're willing to sacrifice even more. The reality is this is not a real sacrifice. You don't dare take this bishop, because now knight to d6 check and your king has nowhere to go. First of all, if he goes to d7, well, we could just borrow your queen back, that would be useful for us, or if you go to e7, then we're just going to take this one check, then we're going to go back, then we're going to attack you. And the attack is merciless. The king is stuck along the rank and the files, everything is going to be straightforward, chop chop, every move is going to be devastating, and remember black is still up a queen for a rook, but the pieces aren't developed. And white's pieces on the other hand are threatening all kinds of nasties. So, you really cannot touch this piece as I back up to this position. You can't touch the bishop moves have been tried here. The move knight to c6 can be met by g6, the spectacular g6, this move threatens g7, so you have to get rid of it, and now, again, you see the opening of the rank as well as the loss of this piece. By the way, I should point out king to e7, rook h7 check, and there's more devastation happening, we're pocketing the queens hanging here. Am I not mating? It doesn't matter, we're pocketing the queen. Actually, I think I am mating if I do this right. This looks horrible, wouldn't you love to have this position in an actual game? But if it's not mate, then your opponent wants it to be mate. So, the move g6, just a fantastic move here refuting black's play, leaving pieces hanging all over the place. But that's not something black could do. Knight d7 has been tried as well, and still the best move is g6, just opening them up. Come get some. What a move. Again, this position is terrible. We've seen the move bishop takes d4 in this position played in a game between Wong and Merchant in 2010, but it was g6 that is the most pointed move in the position, which is go down one line to show you that after this, white can just play rook takes on d4. You could sit there and have your queen, but you're going to die. This is just ugly. By the way, if you try to give back the queen, we'll let you do it. Thank you, we appreciate it. Material is now even as far as the piece count, but look at the white pieces. I mean, you can't even compare the two pieces, the two armies here, and this is just absolutely busted. By the way, if you tried another move here like before this, let's say, my apologies, right here, if you tried something like queen takes on a2, we'll just keep attacking, no problem, you want to borrow stuff. Don't do that. That wasn't very wise, now we're just going to get you mated, look at this. Coordination. Maximum coordination between the two bishops, the knight and the rook, and when the king moves up to avoid going in the corner and getting mated, then you get mated like this. Just nasty. I mean, this is just a sample of the complex variations that prove that white is actually the one winning this game due to the lack of coordination with the black forces. Just a beautiful, beautiful display of superior coordination of the pieces that may be less on the board. Let's go back, if we may, to the position after bishop to f8. I'm going to go back here. Knight takes e4, d4, knight e2. This is the position. Again, white has tried different things. Black has tried different things, but none of it works. Now, that doesn't mean that some games haven't been slipped up by players trying this lineup. You're going down queen for only a rook and pawn, but correct play, it's just better. No question about it, just better, and in fact, winning for white, strong words, but it's the truth. Nakamura tried king to d7, a tricky little move looking to somehow play bishop to b4. For example, if you try knight g3, and all of a sudden you see bishop b4 land on the board with check, and by the way, your rook is hanging. No such luck, said Ganguly. After this move, king d7, white said, I'm good with castling. I mean, look at your king. Your king in the middle of the board is terrible. I mean, now all your coordination is horrible. Poor. No, that's not going to describe how bad this coordination is. Black tried c6, more loss of time, giving the king a square, but white's happy to see slow moves. Please, now I just organized this position, let me pick that off, and now the move, king to c7, and you know what? Let me just play rook a7 on you. Now, we just find this beautiful rank open with your king and queen sitting on it, and g6 is coming, I mean, this is over and done. Basically, you can start crying now, rook to a7, knight move to d7, and g6 on the board. We've seen this great move, not about the pawn, but really about opening the rank. In this case, you can't really open it, queen dropped back, rook takes, and look again at all these black pieces. None of them working, one rook terrorizing all the pieces, just one rook. Amazing position. Bishop e7 was played, and now the body slam. Knight f6, dropping the knight in. The pawn's about to push. This is just horrible for black. Black took, and now pawn takes, and we talk about the weak king. We talk about poor coordination, and now we're talking about the passed pawns as well. Connected passers. Black moved over, trying to attack. Bishop f4 with check. The king moved, and now bishop to d3, guarding those puppies. No, one of them will sooner or later become a queen. Black got desperate and took this pawn off the board and missed. Oops. Oh, that's mate. Oh, my bad. Really amazing game played by Ganguly. Yes, it was a blitz game, but beating Nakamura in blitz. You know how hard that is. Just an incredible display of the rook showing that you can sacrifice, go down as much as a queen, but if your opponent, a queen for a rook in this case, but if your opponent doesn't have proper coordination, doesn't have proper development, then it spells disaster. And that's the kind of comfort level you want to have when playing a sacrifice of this type. If you enjoyed my content, then please like and subscribe to my channel for more.